I never thought I'd end up working nights at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It was supposed to be temporary, just a weird job I found in the classifieds. Night security guard wanted. Midnight to 6 a.m., easy work. $120 a week. The ad made it sound like I'd sit in a chair, sip coffee, maybe check cameras once in a while. I needed money fast, so I didn't ask questions. But nothing in the ad mentioned the smell, or the silence that feels like it's listening to you, or the animatronics that move when you're not watching. The place looked innocent, enough when I arrived at 11:45 p.m., just a dusty pizzeria with fading posters of smiling mascots. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, childhood icons for most kids in town. I found the security office at the end of the hall, a cramped room with buzzing fans, two-door buttons, and a phone that started ringing the second I sat down. A recorded message crackled through the speaker. Some former employee explaining the rules: conserve power, watch the cameras, don't let anything get into the office. His tone was casual, but the things he said weren't. He mentioned wandering animatronics, facial recognition glitches, and a line that chilled me. If they see you after hours, they might mistake you for an endoskeleton without its costume, and try to stuff you into one. I laughed nervously. Surely it was a joke, right? But at 1:30 a.m., Bonnie was gone from the stage. My stomach flipped. I cycled through cameras, catching glimpses. A rabbit-shaped silhouette in the dining area, then closer, standing in the hallway. Every time I lowered the tablet, the silence felt heavier. The hum of the fan, the distant clank of metal, and footsteps. I slammed the left door shut when Bonnie's shadow fell across the hall. He stayed there for minutes, staring at the camera with lifeless eyes before drifting away. At 5:59 a.m., power was almost gone. My hand shook. Then the clock chimed 6 o'clock. Lights flickered on. Shift over. I drove home in silence, convincing myself it was just nerves. But my hands wouldn't stop trembling. The second night was worse. The phone guy mentioned something about Foxy becoming active if I didn't check Pirate Cove often. He said it like it was a casual tip, not a life-or-death warning. By 1 a.m., Bonnie and Chica were moving in tandem, one on the left, one on the right. Their footsteps echoed through the halls. I kept flipping between cameras, draining power too fast. Then I saw it. Pirate Cove's curtain slightly parted, a long snout peeking out. Foxy, watching. I checked back every few seconds. Each time the curtain was more open, his body leaning forward, eyes gleaming. At 3 a.m., I switched away for too long. When I returned, Foxy was gone. The next camera showed him sprinting down the hall. I slammed the left door just in time, his metal fist pounding against it, making the walls shake. My heart hammered as he growled on the other side, scraping metal against the doorframe. Chica rattled plates in the kitchen. Bonnie stared into the camera, motionless, like he knew I was watching. When 6 o'clock finally rang, I was drenched in sweat. Driving home, I kept checking my rearview mirror, half expecting headlights to reveal glowing eyes. The third night broke me. Phone guy's message was shorter, more serious. He hinted the animatronics got more aggressive. By midnight, Bonnie camped outside my left door while Chica paced the right. I was boxed in, using up precious power just to keep the doors shut. At 2 a.m., I heard singing. Not from the stage, from the halls. A distorted music box tune, echoing closer and closer. I shut the tablet, and Freddy's shadow passed by the doorway. The cameras glitched, static rolling across the screens. When they cleared, all 4 were gone. I spun through feeds until I caught them, Bonnie and Chica outside the office, Foxy glaring from Pirate Cove, Freddy standing in the bathroom of all places, staring into the mirror. The thought hit me. He wasn't checking himself. He was waiting. By 4 a.m., the power was dangerously low. Bonnie hammered the left door. Foxy ran again, slamming the right. Freddy's laugh echoed through the halls, closer every time. The lights flickered as I prayed for morning. When 6 o'clock rang, I almost cried with relief. Driving home, I wondered how much more I could take. I didn't want to come back. Every bone in my body screamed to quit. But something about that paycheck, and something else, curiosity. Phone guy's message was chaotic, like he was panicking. I could hear banging in the background. Then the recording cut off. The silence that followed was worse than anything. That night was pure torment. The animatronics moved faster, smarter. They didn't just wander, they hunted. I could hear them whispering, scraping claws along walls. At 1 a.m., Chica stood outside the door, her beak clicking, muffled words seeping through. "Let us in." Foxy didn't wait as long this time. By 2 a.m., he charged again, nearly breaking the door with the impact. I saw wires sparking from his jaw as he screamed. Freddy was the worst. He never appeared on the hall cameras anymore. Instead, I'd hear his laugh, then see glowing eyes in the darkness when I flicked the light. He was always closer than I thought. At 5 a.m., power dropped to 5%. I sat in the dark, clutching the tablet, heart pounding with every second. Shadows shifted outside the door. Freddy's song echoed. When the clock hit 6 o'clock, I felt like I'd been pulled from the jaws of hell. At home, I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every creak of the house made me jump. The final night, I nearly didn't return, but I had to see it through. The pizzeria felt different, darker, like the walls were breathing. The smell of rot was stronger, seeping through the vents. There was no phone call, just silence. From midnight onward, the animatronics were relentless. Bonnie and Chica attacked together, pounding both doors. Foxy sprinted 3 times in one night, his snout smashing against the glass. Freddy's laughter never stopped. It circled me, echoing from every corner. By 4 a.m., I was nearly out of power. Doors slamming, lights flickering, cameras static. I whispered to myself, trying to stay calm, but my voice cracked with every word. At 5:30 a.m., the power drained to 0. The office went black. Freddy's music box tune began to play in the dark. I saw his glowing eyes at the door. I heard Foxy's running steps, Bonnie and Chica's breathing. They were all coming. I pressed back into the chair, tears in my eyes, whispering, "Please, please let it be 6 o'clock." The footsteps closed in. A shadow fell across me. Metal jaws opened. And then, bong, bong, bong. 6 a.m. The lights flickered on. The animatronics froze in place, inches away. Then they turned and walked back to the stage like nothing happened. I stumbled out, barely breathing, the sunrise blinding my eyes. I survived 5 nights. But something tells me I'll never really leave Freddy Fazbear's behind.